Live, love Africa. What's your excuse for not coming? Please subscribe.
Warning: the Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful. Snowflakes should not view this content under any circumstances, even if supervised by a G.I. Joe, Navy SEALs, Army vet, or someone with good common sense. The views and opinions expressed, including the depictions of persons of color, corrupt politicians, white people with or without a tan, haters who have yet to brush their teeth typing angrily in the comment section with hot breath syndrome, do not reflect any official policy or position of the U.S. government. This program contains graphic language, dark comedy, unique intelligence, creativity, a high credit score, and high blood pressure when triggered. This program has also been accused of racism, violence, misogyny, mansogyny, feminism, MGTOWism, defacement of celebrities, and of course, being a bully. Welcome to Thought Crimes. All right, everybody. All right. That's right. Another fantastic show, by the way. Sorry about the delay. I know some people's like, man, there y'all go again. So anyway, of course, this is your man, Prince Solomon, in the building. Actually, as you guys can see in the background, I don't know if the brother has his phone up, but we got the wonderful Prince Dynast Amir. Of course, if you all pay attention to the wonderful yet informative channel, search for Uhuru. I mean, he gives some great information dealing with the continent and also cultural awareness. Finally, Dynast, man, we got started here, man. So how you doing, by the way, at this particular time? I know I asked you that before early on in the day, but at this particular time, how are you feeling, man?
I feel great, brother. Are we streaming on YouTube, or did you do another video?
No, man. You streaming? They looking at you right now.
Okay. I'm trying to find the stream, but okay, well, I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, all you have to do is when you get in chance, when you punch in Thought Crimes on YouTube.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
I had it up in the. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I had it up already. Yeah, it says live stream recording. Oh, here we go. It was tripping. Mm-hmm. Y'all, I just wanted to make sure I can see, because I love to interact with the with the chat room. But for some reason, like I said, it wasn't showing. But it's showing now. Everybody, how you doing? I am Dynast Amir. Well, Prince Dynast Amir. Search for Uhuru. I operate a platform called Search for Uhuru, which is part of the Dynast Amir brand. And basically, what we're doing, we're connecting the diaspora with Africa, the motherland. So that's what I do. My platform is, again, Search for Uhuru. Search for Uhuru. I'll put it in the chat room, but it's SEARCH. So search spelled out for FOR Uhuru, which means freedom in Swahili, and that's spelled UHURU. So search for Uhuru. That is the name of my platform. So go check me out, go subscribe, all that good stuff. And I want to thank the brother Thought Crimes for allowing me to come onto his platform. Brother Thought Crimes, thank you so much. I'm humbled, for allowing me to come on your platform. And I want to thank everybody who's watching this right now. I'm very big on gratitude. So I want to thank everybody who is watching this right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, I'm done.
Oh no, it's all good, man. And no, you're fine, man. So here on Thought Crimes is actually, I'm Prince Solomon, and Sincere Ignorance is my wife. So we run this, channel together, and we also have like a podcast, and then we do animations and things of that nature. And then of course we do like comedy, raw comedy, but we also have informative or edutainment, as some people coined some time ago. Not that much of it means anything today, but the thing is here, Dynast, man, you have a very fascinating story. I think your story in many ways it reminds me of like the mythology, right? From what doing my research on you, you started off, as a promising football talent. Then you had a major life altering injury that
Right.
took place. They kind of shed some light on your new direction. Where was your mind before that injury, even in regards to the continent of Africa?
My mind wasn't on the continent at all. It was football, lift weights. I'm gonna go to the NFL. I'm gonna go to the university. So, guys, I was born. My birth name is Albert Hollis. Albert Hollis. That's my birth name. I legally changed my name to Dynast Adewale Amir. But my birth name is Albert Hollis. And literally, I was all about just football and sports and girls. My priorities definitely were in order, and Africa was the furthest thing from my mind. I wasn't considering Africa at all.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was all about sports. Me going to the NFL, making millions of dollars, getting all the girls, and all that. Somebody in the chat room is asking what injury. I blew my knee out freshman year at the University of Georgia. Dislocated it, tore my ACL, LCL, PCL, stretched my peripheral nerve or perennial nerve, something like the peripheral nerve, and tore my hamstring off the bones. Yes, like Hollis Queens. Albert, as in Fat Albert. Hollis, as in Hollis Queens. Yes. Uh, so yeah. So that's what happened to me. So it ended my football career for the most part, but I was able to. I ran track. I was still on a football team, competed. So yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. So from there, though, right? As you stated, you had most, either young African American males or young black males, whatever, the coin term. 'Cause people argue over like black versus African American, whatever. But for you, you kind of like,
Hold on,
most,
stop the show. Okay.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Girlie 504. My name's not Albert anymore. I changed my name. You said I went to undergrad, so you went to the University of Georgia, but that's not my name anymore. I even got to start. I still got a couple of family members that still call me, and I just gotta, that's just, that's not my name, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, so you had like a Cassius Clay moment. The people in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
chat.
yeah, yeah. It's just, it's been long enough, man. Like my name is Dynast Amir. Call me Dynast. My name's not Albert anymore. So, but go ahead.
You know what? It's all fine, man. It's all good. Um, you coming into basically the new you post dealing with your injury and everything that did take place. What was it like? I mean, what was some of your mode of actually setting foot on the continent? Because you wrote a very interesting article on the platform known as Medium about not being necessarily impressed with the modernization of Africa, and that's something, a conversation we can have a little bit later into this talking point. But for you though, can you describe like what was the feeling of actually setting foot on the continent and your way into that glory gate land of Africa?
The reason why I wasn't well, okay, let me back up. So back in 2011, I was working in corporate America doing sales. I was one of the top sales reps. Well, I ended up being the top sales rep in fiscal year 2014 for my company at the time, which is Centos. And I'm making good money and unfortunately blowing it. Young
Mhm.
single black man in LA,
Mhm.
I was blowing that money.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, and it's stupid. I kind of write about that. I was talking to a friend, Fitzgerald Stevens, and he was like, "You need to take a vacation, go on a cruise, or just go somewhere."
Mhm.
So I said, "You know what? Back in college, there used to be this flick called Mike in Brazil."
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about?
Yeah.
So we used to go online and yeah, Mike in Brazil, you guys. And so I had my homeboys. They used to always go to Brazil, and they used to tell me how far their money could go when it comes to women and villas and
Mhm.
beaches.
Mhm.
So I'm like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go to Brazil, and I'm just gonna have a ball. So one of my friends was gonna, I was gonna go with her, and she's like, yeah, we'll go, and all this other stuff. Yeah, we'll go have a good time. And they love you. They will love your chocolate self.
Hmm.
So, I'm excited to go to Brazil. So she reaches out to me like maybe like a month after we were planning to go and is like, you know what, Dynast, I can't go. I can't go anymore. So I'm like, damn, I don't want to go by myself. So then my homeboy, my good friend, his name is Yishak. He's like, hey yo, Dynast, man, because I told him the story, like, look, man, I want to go somewhere.
Hmm.
He's like, go to Tanzania.
Mm.
I said, Tanzania. So I started researching it. And then there's an island off of Tanzania called Zanzibar. And Zanzibar at that time, there's a club um, outside of Zanzibar. I'm sorry, I'm tripping. There's a club called Zanzibar in Santa Monica, California. So I actually didn't know that Zanzibar was a real place.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh, okay. So it's actually a real island. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. So I went, and so why I wrote the article in regards to I'm not impressed with modern Africa
Hmm.
is because when I went to Tanzania, went to Dar es Salaam, I get off the plane, I go to the airport. It was hot as hell, passport control. This is 2011, man. I'm just reliving it, man, because it's been
Hmm.
10 years.
Mm.
I've been going back and forth to Africa and been on this mission, man. And I'm just like really just like I feel like I'm there right now. So if I kind of space out, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
So I'm in passport control. It's hot as hell, no AC. So I stepped outside and the African heat just hit me. And everybody's I come outside, they look at you, and they don't know where you're from. And not only that, they assume that you are one of them, which we are one of them, but they assume you're a local and you're
Hmm.
just coming home to visit.
Hmm.
So they come up to me and they start speaking Swahili.
Mm.
And I said, no, I don't speak Swahili. So they're like, okay, you must be South African. And I'm like, no. Then they say you must be Nigerian, which I am now, which I am. I'm Nigerian. And at that time, I didn't know until it was discovered. And I'm like, no. They said, where are you from? I said, I'm from America. And they're like, welcome home, brother.
Mm.
Um, so, I go into the city and what I noticed, 'cause I'm looking for the like African culture. Like, I wanted to see I wanted to see the authentic Africa. And so I go into the city and it's nothing more than it's copied from the West. You know what I mean? It's nothing more than Western infrastructure
Hmm.
with no African inspiration. It's just, it looks like hell, Atlanta.
Mm.
So, I asked somebody, I'm like, where can I experience the culture at? They said you got to go to the villages. I said, okay. So I go to the villages and I love it. I
Hmm.
go see the the Maasai tribe.
Hmm.
And man, Arusha. And I'm like, this is the Africa I want to experience.
Hmm.
So I just started going back and I just started focusing, spending my time absorbing the culture because you're not really, I mean, this thing you have to understand about Africa. And this is what I said in my article. Africa, modern Africa is European infrastructure that's being built by the Chinese that in some cases is being poorly managed by Africans.
Mm.
And so my thing is, if you go to China, you still, even in the cities, you'll still see some Chinese inspired architecture. But in Africa, when you say being modern, modernity, excuse my, yeah, I'm butchering the word, sorry,
Hmm.
is void of African culture, of the African. Again, it's just void of any African architecture. It's completely void
Mm.
when it comes to modernity, being modern. So, like I said, is European Western infrastructure built by the Chinese that in some cases is poorly managed by Africans. So that's why I wasn't impressed with modern Africa. Because why can't we include? We have architecture. We have African architecture. Why can't we include it in what we do as we modernize? We shouldn't have to sacrifice our modernity. I mean, we shouldn't. I'm sorry. We shouldn't have to sacrifice our Africanity in the name of being modern.
I get that where you're coming from, and I thought that's what was. I think when you stated about the infrastructure setup, and I just thought of how even when you made that statement, it spoke to the complexity of globalization, but also our status in what is known as globalization in the space of e-commerce, right, or transcontinental capitalism or hypercapitalism, right? So when you made that statement about the infrastructure in itself being built or even being constructed by the Chinese and funded by the white man or the European, but then poorly managed by the African. I'm not going to lie, Dynast. I was thinking about URL battlers. I said that was a bar because it almost in a way it's kind of say like metaphorically you were kind of alluding that in some cases, not all, but in some spaces Africans are coming across as no more than janitors of their own culture, and I thought that was a bit fascinating. And then when you kind of within the article, you went into a little further about when you got off the plane and you saying the skinny jeans and it was kind of looking like Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean, it was like I was in Atlanta, skinny jeans, bad weaves. I'm like, what, I didn't fly across the planet to see this.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel in some regard, Dynast, because 50 Cent said this one time. About not knowing just about how prevalent Black Americans' influence has been globally right. Until he traveled to Africa. Do you get? Did you feel some sense in that? Kind of similar to that situation when you touched down, seeing how aspects of our quote unquote culture, if you want to call it that, have been influential in that space.
But see, this is the problem with that. The
Mm-hmm.
reason why, number one, I don't take too much pride in that is mm-hmm. because number one, it's the dysfunctional part of our culture. Number two, who really controls our culture?
Mm-hmm.
We don't control our culture.
Mm-hmm.
We don't control any of the media.
Mm-hmm.
So it's some non-Black guy, let's just keep it real, in an office somewhere of these major record labels, movies. Because I watched the interviews of like Black actors and these entertainers and rappers, and these Black actors literally say they'll be in a casting call, and a white guy would say, "Act more Black,"
mm-hmm.
or "Hey man, do it like this, buddy. Do it like this, buddy."
Mm-hmm.
Say what's up, guy. What's up? You guys do. Like
mm-hmm.
seriously.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't control our culture.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, it's the dysfunctional part of our culture that is prevalent over there. That's why, when people are proud, like, yeah, man, they want to be us. Again, I don't want to see sagging skinny jeans, bad weaves, Africans saying the N-word, them listening to 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to Africa for that.
I feel you on that one. Dynast, I think I will say this because there's a couple things that you were speaking to, even on, and again, you guys should check out, search for Uhuru. It's a wonderful channel, very informative. But there was one of the things you touched on in that regard about this whole thing about bragging about a culture that you don't necessarily control, and I always felt in some regards, Dynast, it's a very horrible campaign against Black folks. It's something that Tom Burrell touched on in Black Inferiority. It's basically the mythology of Black inferiority, right. But he worked in advertising in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and he was in the offices and he understood how they were targeting marketing to Black folks. And I'd say this to your point, Dynast, I remember one time some years ago, I don't even know who the artist was, but I kid you not, I was cruising through some African channels when I was in Houston, Texas, and they literally had like their version of a Lil Wayne. And
And it sounds so terrible.
it
'Cause they
sounded
have
horrible.
yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, it just don't sound right. Yeah.
It came off very goofy. It came off very
Yeah.
weird, very contrived, and I remember looking at that and I was like, wow, that's very interesting in this whole thing about, people wanting to be it. So there's already this miscommunication between the Black American and the Black African, correct?
Right.
What is it for you from your experience within the 10 years that you've been traveling back and forth? Why is it so hard for both cultures to create an exchange of fluidity, much like, let's say, the white man maybe in Chicago and reaching out to the people in Scotland or Ireland or the UK or things of that nature? What is the strain from you traveling back and forth? What is it that you've seen between the Black American and the Black African?
I mean, well, who controls America? Number one. Number two, I would say this. A lot of times, especially the generation before ours, or like the first couple of generations that started coming, they were so afraid to offend white people. That's why you really didn't see. And guys, do me a favor. We have 194 people watching, only 58 likes. You guys need to hit that like button. You guys need to hit that like button.
Hey, appreciate that one. Good looking out.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
looking
Hey,
out.
come on, hit the like button, subscribe. Come on now. They were so afraid to offend white people that they wanted to stay disconnected from Black America. So, but I'm telling you, things are changing now. Things are changing. A lot of Africans here in America and on the continent are waking up. So, somebody said that's a dumb answer. Who controls America? Do you think, okay, stop the show. Digital Pit Boss. Do you think, okay, so the brother said that he brought up the example, white people in Chicago and white people, where else?
Oh yeah, what I was bringing up, I brought up about just knowing that there's a stationary front of all groups of people. It's not even just white folks. I don't always like to focus on it, but let's just say, the Hispanic, or we know where that term came from, the Hispanic or the Latino. But there's always there's satellite branches here in the States, and then they get to reach out globally to deal business. However, with us as Black Americans, it's just like, keep it in America. We don't care about the folks in the UK.
I just, you know what, the issue is, I'm gonna tell you what the problem is. There's tons of opportunities in Africa. I present them all the time. Black Americans hate America so much, but they love America. Oh
yes,
and they think America is the end game. So we march, hands up, like right now, COVID-19. I just recovered from it.
Yeah, I'm glad that was able to take place. I wanted to get into that a little bit later, but you already jumped into it, so it's your show. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's affecting Black people the most, and to take it to another level. So you have these stimulus packages for small businesses. The PPP loan, which is the Paycheck Protection Program. Then you have the EIDL loan for supposedly small businesses. The majority of this money is going to large businesses. I was reading online, like, Black businesses aren't getting this money. Black businesses, brick and mortar, are going to be mostly affected by what's going on. You just look at the history of Black people here in America. I mean, yes, you can make a lot of money in America, and I've made plenty of money in America, a ton of money in America. But even after all this, you say, hey, consider Africa as a destination to do business. They'll look at you like you're crazy, but then they'll complain about everything. I mean, you got to think about it. It just kind of, I don't want to get into politics, but I am.
Right.
You had a candidate, Bernie Sanders. If you look at his platform and what he was offering, like universal health care, I guess, I think.
Yeah, that's what he ran on largely.
Healthcare.
Yeah, something like that. And when asked to expound, he actually became cantankerous towards pretty much black people who were asking that question. Like, shut up, be happy that I'm here talking to you all.
But the okay. Let me continue.
Mhm.
Um, getting rid canceling student debt. Now, especially for Black American women and guys, I don't want to do this gender war. I'm just saying, I don't want to do the gender war because Black men are included as well. They say Black women are the most educated in America. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's well,
Have both
yeah,
degrees.
yeah, and that's usually and to be real, Dynast, before you continue, actually, man, that's with any gender. I mean, that's with any group. Excuse me, like white women are more educated than white men, but they, because it's black folks, they like to make a bigger thing with black folks. But go ahead, yeah, but that is what they are marketing right now. It's a marketing point.
Right, but they also have the highest debt, college loan debt.
Yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true.
This affects Black men too. The health care. Like right now, so thank God I have insurance, right?
Hmm.
So this is Nicole. I'm just again. I'm not. This is no gender war. I'm just saying. Black it affects Black men too. The health care. Here we go. COVID-19. I think disproportionately affects Black men right now.
Yeah, it is actually. They're having
Yeah, they did a study.
yeah,
I'm gonna be balanced,
yeah, they're
but
having a strange recovery rate and then a death rate too as well. But go ahead.
it's affecting Black men a whole lot. Listen, thank God I have insurance because my hospital bills
Hmm.
would damn near $30,000-$40,000.
Mm.
Thank God I have insurance. You have a lot of people that don't have insurance. And since this is affecting Black men, I know there are a lot of Black men out here with no insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they've been. Well, first of all, Dynast, man, and, I don't know if you had a chance to catch, but start the gender war, Dynast. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
No,
start the
no,
gender.
no, no,
Nah, I'm
no,
messing
no,
around.
no. I'm not
But
doing it. I'm done with
but
gender war. I'm
but
done. That's why I'm
yeah.
keeping this balance.
But
Because
so here's the thing about it. Because we use a lot of humor, right? We use a lot of humor to illustrate points. The gender war, to me, even further in some regards than the racism thing. I think it's a little bit more self indulging amongst our own. Because let's say you get a group of people they're among themselves, Dynast. They're still going to kind of play off the warring politics of the West version of the gender wars when we know historically in other nations and countries they looked at things a bit differently. But what you're saying is very true, Dynast, because
yeah, but it's my thing
the,
about crime. I just don't understand why people like from what I said. You have people who will get offended. I'm like, it's just
right,
I'm going somewhere with this.
right. Well,
So Black men,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, Black men lack insurance, but they're disproportionately being affected by COVID-19.
Hmm.
Thank God I have insurance.
Hmm.
So you have a candidate who came out, platform, insurance for all, ending college debt. Guess who Black folks vote for? Guess who they vote for?
Go ahead.
I'm asking the question.
What is it? What was it? Joe Biden, I believe.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, yeah, Joe Biden, Birdhead.
And I just don't get it. For some reason, Black folks care less about all of that. All they care about is getting rid of Trump. And it's like, okay, if you look at Bernie Sanders is a white Republican that happens to be a Democrat who has a checkered past. And you just, it's like, what are you gaining? And what did you just lose? So another thing too, a lot of people people just aren't taking Black people in America serious anymore.
Mm-mm.
And a lot of it is our fault.
Well, it's okay. So here's my thing about it, and I definitely see where you're coming from with it. And I actually want to go back, Dynast, to even with your situation. Now, here you are, or arguably from the eye check, a healthy brother, right? And then here you are, you're going to go get toilet tissue like everybody else, and then boom, you hit with something, right?
Yeah, I think I got it at the grocery store, literally.
Mm.
No, hold on. Bernie Sanders, okay. People just, okay, let me repeat what I said, first name, last name. Okay, you completely missed it. I never said Bernie Sanders. I said Joe Biden, who is pretty much a Republican who just happens to be a Democrat, versus Trump, the Republican.
That's perfectly fine. That's fine. And I tell you what, folks in the chat.
My thing is, and black people are like, their end game in America is to get rid of Trump, as if that's a win.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing about it, Dynast, and everybody in the chat. What we're going to do, we're going to keep the conversation focused. We're going to allow for y'all, if you all want to ask Dynast any questions, or if you want to contest some of his talking points a little bit later on. But we want to make sure this is a focused conversation, because I know how some of you all get. Y'all get all over the place like Skittles on the floor. So what we're going to do is just going to kind of push on forward, because what he's saying, he has a lot of interesting information. And especially, this is a brother that was affected by COVID-19. For all the people with the 5G tinfoil hats on, this is somebody. Go ahead.
After this, let's just get back to Africa.
Yeah.
Did I say Bernie Sanders initially? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. If I said that, I apologize. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Again, forgive me, guys. If I said Bernie Sanders originally, thank you, Yemi. I apologize. I meant Joe Biden. Joe Biden is nothing more than a Republican that just happens to be a Democrat.
Oh yeah, okay, I got you. I see.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're fine, man. It's all good. But the COVID-19 virus, and I'm not gonna lie, Dynast. When I saw your face floating down on Instagram and you had them tubes up your nose, I says, man, what the hell? This boy is Russell Westbrook. So I said, what happened? So when I saw that, and then there's some individuals that we know personally. For me, everybody that I actually knew, Dynast, that had been affected in my life with COVID-19, guess what? They were all black men. And
it's affecting black men, and black men need to take this serious. I mean, it's affecting black men. If I'm gonna do it, in fact, when I get off of here, I'll probably write a quick. Well, I might write an article on it. I don't have the numbers on it, but I just know it's affecting in the black community. It's affecting black men the most. So black men need to take this serious.
You in the hospital though, Dynast.
Yes.
As a black man, what was your experience? What was it that you saw in the hospital that you think could be contributing to these higher percentages of black male death? What was it that you experienced personally with your treatment within the hospital?
Well, I would say this. Number one, a lot of black men, their health is they're not healthy. So because people, when they hit me up, they're telling me their stories, and they have pre-existing conditions. I know one brother hit me up. He was like, yeah, man, my buddy, when he had COVID, he went to the hospital. He died 3 days later. It just hurts talking about this shit. He died 3 days later. So I asked him, he said he didn't have any pre-existing conditions. And then we kept talking. He was overweight. So what this is telling me is that black men aren't taking their health serious.
I would say that. I would say that.
Meaning you need to get in the gym. You need to eat right, or as best as possible. Like I live in an area of Atlanta called the West End, and I walk around. Cats is at Miss Lee's getting the 10 chicken, the 10-piece fried chicken with the shrimp fried rice.
Oh, they down there. They down there at Miss Winters. You know how it is.
Miss Winter, Popeye chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
It's just black men need to get their health together. That's what is being exposed. Because I'm telling you, if I wasn't as active as I was in M, I just, I just hate talking about it. But
Hmm.
I just that's what it's exposing. Because again, it's when you look at it, okay, what happened? This guy was healthy, but he was overweight. It's just we got to get our health together. But at the same time,
Hmm.
I have a friend. I have two friends who've had strokes before they were 40.
Mm.
And it's like you're not even 40. I mean, you're not even 40 yet, and you're having strokes.
Mm.
So what that tells me is just this environment in America. I mean, that's unheard of in Africa.
Hmm.
It's just this environment. I mean, it's just black men. You got to deal with racism. You got to deal with the police. You know, you got to deal with the child family court system. And if you have to deal with that, it's just so much black men have to deal with here in America that I just don't understand why any black man will not consider Africa.
Well, I want to talk about that because it's something that, like, okay, for instance, all right, we know about the recidivism rate pertaining to incarceration for
And you got to
black
deal with
men.
incarceration. It's just
Yeah, yeah,
it's just so much. And then
yeah, it's that, and then on the flip side, Dynast, believe it or not, eviction rates for black women are just as treacherous. If a
right,
sister has a daughter or a son, the tenants have no problem kicking them, or the landlords have no problem kicking them out on the streets. I believe Milwaukee has one of the highest rates out there where you at in Atlanta. I know me growing up in Atlanta, just what my mother and I and my little brother went through. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
it is a very microwaving charged environment in America. For you, though, have you been able to convince some of your at least closest family members and friends about taking this journey with you?
No, no,
You
no,
say
no,
no.
no,
Well, go ahead and expound on that.
no, no. My biggest supporters are people that I mean are online or people I know, but my friends and family, nah. I mean, they support it, but at first they thought I was crazy,
Mm.
but nah,
Hmm.
no,
Wow, wow, and so because it is a love hate relationship that people tend to have, just with the American culture in general. For you though, Dynast, for somebody listening and they see you, they see your channel. What are some of the business opportunities in Africa for them pertaining to finances or even just culturally?
I mean, me personally, I'm dealing with real estate. Guys, if you go to dynastamir.com, it's still, it's being updated every day. Go to dynastamir.com. But my thing is art, commerce, culture. So I'm focusing on the culture, like the indigenous culture, like embracing who we are, embracing our culture,
Hmm.
documenting that, sharing that to the world. I'm dealing with, again, art is part of that. And then
Hmm.
as far as the commerce, right now, I'm focusing on real estate.
Hmm.
There are just a ton of opportunities out there. Like, if you want to open up a salon,
Hmm.
if it's just there's a ton. I mean, pretty much anything you do here that you're good at,
Hmm.
you could take over to Africa. And the saying over here is underworked, underpaid, overworked, underpaid.
Right.
You can get what you're just due, what you deserve over in Africa
Hmm.
by just taking it over there. But I'm, like right now, my focus is going to be primarily right now, still doing search for Uhuru, focusing on the culture.
Hmm.
But I really want to focus on the real estate because I mean, you could buy land for Africa very affordable. People talk about how they're getting priced out here, how they can't get a loan. I mean, you could build a nice house in a nice area, pretty much all over Africa, for $50,000.
Mm.
You and your family could save up your money and go do it and build.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
Well, okay,
And like they
go
said
ahead.
over here in America, the wealth is supposed to be. See, this is what I don't understand. How can we have 17, like it's what is 3 million spending power here, but then by 2050 they're saying that the black wealth is going to be at zero.
Mm,
It's just something's not right. This COVID is, I mean, dealing with the COVID situation
right.
as far as essential services, Amazon, all that stuff. It's predominantly black. It's like we're just, we're putting our lives on the line to get to make a living. But and I just it's just again this love hate relationship with America, and I don't get it.
Well, it is something to really think about. Right now we see that even companies such as AMC theaters, they're like, hey man, we after this we're not recovering from this, and then get
Have they shoot have they decided to fold, or are they going bankrupt, or
well, from what I understand is that they for the most part they've been in talks, and I think somebody in the chat may update me on it. Dynast, I just know when I saw that, and actually, my wife and I seen we was driving, and I actually was looking at something like Old Navy. We was driving past it, and I was like, man, places like Old Navy and some of these other establishments, they're not really going to be able to really recover or fare well afterwards. It's not like somebody's going to really flock to some of these places after everything allegedly opens up at a particular time, even though we got Bill Gates calling for a longer duration. But what you said about, black entrepreneurs struggling in a situation, we know like out in New York, they were literally arresting black barbers who were still trying to, on some, underground railroad type stuff, cut
are you
hair.
serious? But let me tell you, and this is why again I don't understand why black people won't consider America. If you so during this whole COVID shutdown, right?
Hmm.
I'm sorry, COVID.
Right.
If black people were out in the streets,
Hmm.
here come the police.
Hmm.
You got white folks marching to the Capitol in their city, armed
Hmm.
by the hundreds of thousands, no police in sight. I mean, what does that tell you?
It does. It tells you it tells you the arrangement of the dance. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's what it pretty much tells. Like for me, a Dynast man and Sin knows me. Like I'm done with the ranting, the yelling, the arguing, the debates, and I don't get into conscious rhetoric online. Whose philosophy is better than the next. It doesn't mean anything to me. What has always been interesting to me is about establishing an infrastructure. And people are always talking about infrastructures in America, particularly a lot of black folks. Infrastructure, black women, infrastructure, black men, infrastructure. And you
thing is that window's closing. It's closing.
expound on that. Expound on this. Talk
I
to me
mean,
about that.
I'm gonna say this. Every time I go to Africa, no matter how bad who are ignorant, how ignorant, how bad people who are ignorant talk about it, I see constant improvements. Every time I go, the real estate is going up.
Mm,
Meanwhile, here, and it was a study done on it.
hmm.
Facts, like it was a study done on it. Real estate in predominantly black neighborhoods is the value,
Hmm.
and no one has an answer for it.
Hmm.
So, like I said, I, come to America, get your money, by all means, get your bread. But it's just I don't know what does the black community want from America? That's the question. Because again, you vote for Biden, you vote for Trump, you know, you have Bernie Sanders. Yeah, Bernie Sanders didn't come out and say, I'm gonna do this for black folks, but just the things he was offering would have helped make an impact in the black community. But you vote for Biden, some are voting for Trump. And I don't know what they're doing for the black community. And, it's odd, man. It's very odd.
Well,
And
for you though, there's actually because there's a lot of questions that because I do listen to your stuff a lot, and there's a lot of questions I genuinely have because you've been traveling for for a decade about with all of this stuff. Do you recall at the time while everybody for the most part was mesmerized by Barack Obama? How did that affect Africa, or even your voyage back and forth to Africa? Did you see any difference or anything like that? What was that like, that atmosphere?
they were calling me when I went. They were calling me Obama, but I mean that's yeah. I mean, but that's about it. Ashley Harris says we should own this country. It's not going to happen. My ancestors built this country for free. I mean, again, I'm gonna give you this analogy, Ashley. This is my house, right? This is my house. I pay a mortgage on it. Can the contractor one day show up to my house and say, hey, I have equity in your house? Can that happen? Or the person that put in the wood floor say, hey, Dynast, I have equity in your house? The answer is no. Again, I know we're owed. I know we built this country for free. But again, we were, unfortunately, we were free labor. We were slaves. I mean, I would love to get my, they're saying cut. You notice the cut the check,
right?
Where my reparations at, crew. They've been real quiet lately.
Yeah.
But I would love to get my cut. I would love to have a reparations check. But you have to move forward. And when I get to Africa and I'm building and all that, like I said, they could cash at me my reparations check, or they could put in my direct deposit. But at the end of the day, it's just if you're counting on a reparations check, the reason why they continue the disrespect, you're delusional. Like I said, I hope we get it. We might get it. I don't know. But I'm not counting on that. And I just think you're delusional. If your excuse is, okay, I'm going to continue with the disrespect because these people who are going to give me a reparations check one day, good luck.
Well, I mean, okay, so look at it like this then. Since you kind of diverged to another point that I actually wanted to erect in the conversation a little bit later, since you're so you're transcontinental at this point, Dynast, you're transcontinental, right? So
yeah, and the thing is, this my COVID experience, it really woke me up. Like, I got to pick it up even more. You know what I mean? Because I can't. I was supposed to be in Nigeria in March. I was supposed to go next month. I can't go. I mean, this is a wake up call. I mean, black right now. The passport office is shut down. You can't get a passport unless it's a emergency. I think only 3% of black people have passports,
right?
Or 5% maybe. So I mean, you're stuck. I mean, this is a wake up call.
For you though, in that wake up call.
Hold on, stop the show. Stop.
Wait a minute, what are you talking about? What happened?
I want to address a comment. Lollipapa, but Dynast Amir is an anchor baby. This is the thing. If you're gonna make a comment, just provide your facts. Let's see here. Let me break it down. My mom was born in San Angelo, Texas. My dad was born in Chicago, Illinois. Grandma was born in Texas. Great grandma was born in Texas. I'm technically what they call ADOS FBA, but I'm not. I don't have this. I guess I'm not emotionally attached like some people are to this place called America.
You know what? And I'll say this to you, Dynast. I'm just being real with you, homie. We can even just stop right there, player. You're Southerner as far as I'm concerned. That you got your passport. You're transcontinental. All right. If people can celebrate international whole, they can celebrate transcontinental Dynast. You know what I'm saying? Here's my thing though, because since we already on that subject, and I knew that was going to come up. Not about the anchor baby. I don't know. First of all, Lollipapa wears flip flops. I don't pay attention to him. So shouts out to Lollipapa, but you tripping. But anyway,
hold on. I have not seen one super chat since we've been in here. I got a problem, and the likes aren't up. I got a problem with that.
It's
I mean,
all
come
good.
on.
Well, I appreciate you.
I have
I
a problem with
appreciate.
that.
I appreciate you. Well, we
I
usually
have
get
not seen one super
yeah,
chat,
right.
and I have not seen and these likes aren't up. I have a problem with that.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know, and the love that you're showing, man. But y'all go ahead and y'all can get them likes up. Y'all know what time it
Yeah,
is.
and I'm not saying you guys have to completely uproot from America.
Hmm.
So all I'm saying is, I just think in the time I'm just look at what America is showing you and what's going on in history. I just think you're doing yourself a disservice by not being on both continents and setting up and building relationships. That's what I'm saying.
With the weird culture or this misunderstanding or this alleged infighting dynasty that goes on between Africans, the black Africans on the continent, and even the second generation loosely that happen to be in this country, then black Americans. Although I've never experienced it growing up, I grew up in Atlanta, like I told you, when we talked in our private conversations. But with everything that happened, like you said, with some of these pro-reparation movements that have happened online or these trends, did you see that created any more distance?
It's a key word is a trend.
Yeah.
It's a trend. And people keep saying, Dynast, why you ain't fighting? What fight? There's no fight. Okay, so when are you guys gonna go bomb rush the United States Treasury? You guys gonna go bomb rush the United States Treasury and say, where my reparations check at? Ain't no fight. It's just a bunch of conferences and t-shirt selling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It's conferences and t-shirt selling. And and maybe let me ask you, did you see the when they had the panel like the reparate where they're gonna actually take a look at it?
No, I'm gonna be honest, Dynast.
It was embarrassing.
Dynast, I'm telling you, 100%. Sin and I, we don't pay attention to that. Like a conference. When you say conference to me, Comic-Con has a conference. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it doesn't mean anything to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of the stuff that you're doing, some other folks that we know that they're doing things, whether it's in Jamaica, Africa, or whatever the case may be. These are the things that actually have movements to get black people out of harm's way. You know what I'm saying?
And not to cut you, I'll lose my train of thought.
That's good. Go ahead.
No, but this is the thing. So again, it's just, is it old? Absolutely. But I'm not holding my, there you go. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Yeah, it's that simple. Because I mean, that conference, that panel was an absolute embarrassment. An absolute embarrassment. It's just, and again, people keep leveraging this. My ancestors died and bled and spilled blood here. They didn't want to. They didn't want to be here. I just hate when we leverage. Well, my ancestors, I got bones buried here. They didn't want to be here in the first place.
Well,
they
I think they
did not want to be here.
Yeah, I think even with some of those talking points, and to be honest with you, Dynast, I mean, I can hear it in your voice. I think you have you have these looping responses to these looping debates and default questions and conversations. Yeah, the bones may be buried here, but guess what? Their souls are not here. Their souls are gone. They're elsewhere.
Right. And
you know what I'm saying?
We got bones buried on the continent.
Absolutely, so because that's what I wanted to really get in contact with you about, not only because of other information, but okay, so here on this channel on Thought Crimes, my wife and I saying when all of this stuff that was taking place online between Africans and allegedly Black Americans, like we just said, well, we're not for this stupid fight because it doesn't make sense. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's like Star Trek nerds arguing against Star Wars nerds. It's like nobody's gonna see each other in the streets. Nobody's really like, let's go start a war with this other people. It's just online talk, and it doesn't make sense to me because we also know. And Dynast, I want you to speak further to this because of course, some of your African counterparts and subsidiaries, Africans they actually some of the lowest admitted immigrants into this country. there's a cap put on them as opposed to any other European immigrant group. Do you want to speak more on that from some of the things you may have heard dealing with some of your counterparts coming out of Africa?
Right. So we had the what was it called? The Black Disinclusion. What is it called? Back in the early 1900s, it was the African Exclusion Act or Black Exclusion Act, something like that, where they wanted to stop, or they weren't going to allow Black people to come into America. So what happened when America was building the Panama Canal? Shout out to Tyree Wright, by the way. Check out our book, Booker T. Washington, Making of a Pan-African. Great book. When they were building the Panama Canal, predominantly Black people built that canal. So they're like, okay, this American money is great. So shoot, let's go to America. And they were like, nah, we ain't letting you niggas in here. So Booker T. Washington, came to the White House, went to the White House. Shout out to Cam Warren for that stimulus check super chat. Went to the White House and basically petitioned to allow them to move black folks for non-black Americans to immigrate into America. So that's kind of where the roots are. Is they never truly wanted African, let's say, people of African origins to immigrate to this country in the first place. So that's just the way it is. I mean, we're just they just don't want us here in mass numbers, and they're gonna keep a cap on that number.
Yeah, and the reason why I wanted you to highlight that, Dynast, because there's kind of this illusion where even some of us, whether we know it or not, we either passively or aggressively become default or de facto nationalists, right? And we know nationalists as the term in itself is, for the most part, has been anti-black. You know what I'm saying? Based on the religious of the nation that they're espousing against black folks, right? So there's this illusion when some of us are speaking against black Africans, well, they don't need to be here, or we need to kick them out. Newsflash, they kind of already have been kicked out because they're not really being let in on that. But for you, though, Dynast, on the other side of the coin, have you experienced any of this this negative vitriol that I've heard a lot of African Americans say from black Africans? Are there any cultural hangups that you've kind of seen that you had to dispel with them?
I would say this: it's so minute that it didn't make it. It was so small that it didn't distract me from the bigger picture. I mean, just maybe it's so small, and I think it's just between Black Americans and Africans. It's just is over exaggerated.
I would agree.
But at the same time, I'm like this: come to America, learn your skills, then you have to go back and build up your country. So, African immigrants who come to America, fine, come, learn your skills, then go back and build up your country. Your loyalty is to your country of origin, and your responsibility is to see that country be great. That's what the Chinese did. They had a system. They came over here, learned everything, copied it, and took it to China. But then sometimes it's just my only issue where I get kind of upset is I see a lot of African immigrants, or just Black immigrants in general, becoming more American than Black Americans. And it's like, nah, you need to go back and build your country. And I'm just saying, like, when you go to Africa and you see the potential there and how beautiful it is, it's like, why aren't you going back and taking advantage of it? Because if not, Indians, Lebanese, Chinese, they're there. And then, brother, I have to go soon, very soon.
That's perfectly fine, man. You have been wonderful as far as the information. this is what I'll say. We're gonna run these last rounds off because we did agree, Dynasty and I, we did agree to 35 to 40 minutes. Of course, we got talking. You know how some of us do.
Yeah, I know how it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's all good, man. Man, you've been fantastic. So that is something that has been highlighted. You know, me personally, Dynast, I have seen African immigrants who've become successful, whether they're engineers or doctors or whatever the case, and they're like, man, I'm not going back to Africa for what? I'm doing good in America, right? Okay, so we got Dynast. He's on his way out, folks. Some of you all, if you have any quick, legitimate questions that make sense in the chat, he'll address them if he eyeballs a question that he sees. If the ones I want to toss at him, then I'll do it myself. Also, Dynast, we had some people earlier while you were speaking. They were saying, Dynast, how did you get rid of the COVID-19? What type of kryptonite Black Panther juice you took?
Again, I'm gonna tell you, prevention is the best cure.
Okay.
Again, stay healthy, work out, stay active. And then when something like this attacks you, you could fight it. I mean, it was tough, but primarily my antibiotics. So I do what the doctor says, and then I do with like the natural her. I'm balanced. So I did my antibiotics, have my little inhaler. What else? Some other things. But then at the same time, I was taking my drinking my ginger, my green teas, and all of that, and taking my black seed oil and my vitamins. So it's a mixture of both. We got to stay balanced.
Okay. Well, okay, folks. If you have any other questions in the chat, I may take in one more and throw it at them. But Dynast,
one more. Like I said, I have to go.
Yeah. So where can they find your material, and how can they reach out to if they have serious inquiries? Of course.
Go to dynastamir.com, and then guys, go subscribe. Search for Uhuru. Search for Uhuru. Again, it's all. I'm gonna put in the chat room. It's all one phrase. Go to YouTube.com. Search for Uhuru. And go subscribe.
All right, there you go.
But brother, I don't mind doing a part 2. This weekend where I could really, answer these questions. So,
okay, no, it's fine. It's fine.
This ain't a one-time thing, brother. It's just.
Yeah, no, you good. You know what? And I love that you said that, and it's fine. It's perfectly fine. I know you and I, we chopped it up. And in fact, man, you was so quick gun ho with it. You was like last night. You said, "Man, we can do something tonight." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm doing some things." But you said, "Hey, well, how about slingshot it tomorrow, which is today?" So no, you good, man. You better than most people that we reached out to. So. So yeah, man, but definitely appreciate you, Dynast, and of course, no, this is not a one-time occurrence. As far as I'm concerned, man, you're part of the family as well, King. All right.
Yeah, for sure, brother. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Everyone who super chatted, thank you for the super chats, liked, all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe. I'm out of here. Appreciate it, family.
All right, y'all. Peace. Okay. Peace. All right, there we go. Thank you so much.
No worries, brother. We'll chat soon.
All right, folks. There you have it, man. The wonderful Dynast Amir, of course. This is not going to be his last time y'all hearing from him here on Thought Crimes. To be honest with you all, we reached out, we chopped it up with the brother, and he was ready to go. He said, man, we can do this. We can do this tonight. And I said, man, we can't do anything right now. But he said, man, we could do this tonight. And I was like, all right, well, we'll have to do it tomorrow. But anyway, okay, hold on here. Sincere is talking in the background. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Y'all hear her? Yes, she. They can hear you. I want to say thank you to P. Blazer for the donation. Bars. I want to say thank you to Cam Warren for his donation. Thank you, Cam Newton. I want to say thank you to Melanin, and I'm going to answer your question in a second.
I want to say thank you to Stay on Cold, who also helped Prince and I when my uncle had COVID-19, still has it. Great show, TC. Peace to the guest, bro. Dynast for providing the much needed info. I want to say thank you to here who just donated as well. That's right, drop that change on us. I also want to say thank you to Cam for donating $100. And this is my answer to y'all questions. I think some of y'all are getting too anally retentive.
Come on up here, girl. Come here.
I know you said they can hear me.
Nah, I mean, yeah, but you gotta come up a little more. Come on up. Come on, Sam.
I don't want to be on.
You ain't on camera. You ain't on camera, girl. Come on. Get up.
All right.
There you go. Hey, speak into this. Go.
Can it reach over to me?
Yeah.
I want to say that y'all have to keep y'all options open. That's like, I'm not being a fucking loyalist to the United States. First of all, your ancestors didn't want to leave the continent of Africa anyway. So let's break that down. But overall, you're supposed to have your options open. Okay, you can still try to get your reparations if that's what you want. But you should be open to the Caribbean. You should be open to the continent of Africa. You should be open to having the best option possible for yourself. Being a loyalist to one thing is why you get abused. Don't we say in relationships, if you getting abused, you're supposed to open your options, you're supposed to leave that person? But when it comes to countries, then we have amnesia. When it comes to countries like, well, if they beating the shit out of me, I still love them anyway. I'm going to try and I'm going to get my ass beat, and then my kids are going to get beat. Like, come on. You're supposed to keep your options open. If you find success in the United States, great, but you still should expand out of the United States. If you find success in the continent of Africa, great, but you should always keep expanding. It's about building. Some people talking about, I'm just going to get my money and this and that and hustle, whatever. If shit keeps getting burnt down, maybe you need to start trying something different. And also for the person who said it's colonialism to try to use your American leverage in building overseas, that's bullshit. You as a black American, if you have the money, if you have the skill set, and then also being from the United States, you should use the Hollywood culture of the United States to build up your brands, and also build up your brands overseas in other countries and other places like the Caribbean and the continent of Africa. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's it on that note, man. And again, shouts out to Dynast Amir. And next time, folks, y'all know it's going to be a grander show. Shouts out to Stay on Cold. Shouts out to you, Shouty, man, and everybody else who's donated. I couldn't address the chat as we was speaking because the CPU engine is turned all the way up. The GPU is all the way up. I had my little bitty animated head up there. But I'm seeing the chats come in now. And definitely appreciate it, and again, Dynast Amir, the brother's offering beautiful information. And you heard what he said, though. He said the window is closing. He said he's seeing property going up over there. So, like we said early, while everybody's online playing Star Wars, Black African versus, Star Trek, ADOS, or whatever you want to call it, the world is still spinning. The capitalistic dollars are still being spent. Property is still being bought up. People are still being kicked out on the streets. People are still catching COVID-19. So, it's real. Also, Stan the Man, he says, yo, Prince, when are we doing a no simp zone? I'm looking to arrange something for Sunday, to be honest with you. And, just kind of, highlight some things just to see how everything going. I'm running through some checks on my tower right now to see what prospects I can hold up on it. But, yeah, No Sim Zone is coming back.
Are you going to play some club music for the people who dropped that stripper money on us?
Let's see. Well, they got the instrumentals in the back.
What instrument are you playing? You playing DJ for real?
Yeah, DJ for real. DJ Baba Dick Gregory, DJ Donald Trump, DJ Wu-Tang Forever, DJ Teddy Riley.
Also, thank you, Chemistry, for a donation all the way from the UK, from
yes.
Europe. I see the European money. What I'm about to say, yeah, my nose sounds stuffy. I don't like how my voice sounds when my nose is stuffy.
You don't have a nose though.
Yes, I do.
You don't have a nose. It's so small.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you. Say got that look in her eyes. That she got that look. She about to cut up some things. I know her. I know Sin. All right. Sin, how did you feel about the conversation though?
I thought you guys did a great job.
How did you feel about it?
I just don't know why you left my mug on the table and I'm not even there. Look at you have my
I
mug.
should have
being
broke
on the
that
table.
damn mug.
I'm like, take the mug off the table.
Yeah. Well, chemistry, you know, we appreciate your information and your support and your extra steps. But Sin and I, we wanted to bring the brother on. Number one, when we shouted him out, he jumped off in the chat and he donated. But two, there is something like Sin knows what I'm talking about. There's this thing called a real one, right? When you're putting in work and you just don't have time for bullshit, but you're frustrated. In fact, that's what led to Marcus Garvey's unfortunate health decline as well. He ended up stroking out of this world because he had so much of stress that he had accumulated responsibilities, anger, resentment. And when you want your people to be able to be in better positions, because them being in better positions protects you and your family. Some people always think like, oh, you just want black people to fly because you just want to see them fly. Nah, it's like, dog, I really want to be protected, and if they don't have any position of power, that leaves us vulnerable to all types of assaults that happen within the United States and globally, as we've seen historically. But with the brother Dynast, that's what he's doing. That's he's putting it in and making it happen. And again, like we said, we'll have people on. I know people want us to reach out to certain people, but there's some folks want us to reach out. They don't serve a purpose. So I would prefer to reach out to people like Brother Dynast and some of the other guys and ladies that are actually effective and active in their community, that are actually, providing information that can make your life a lot easier.
Thank you, Teacher Solomon. I also want to talk to Bully. Bully trying to get on my ass, talk about I'm a colonialist. Well, good. You have a fucking black colonialist that's going to colonize for success of black people. Moving on. Now, let's see. Secondly, I didn't say
that was okay.
I didn't say the country of Africa. I said the continent of Africa. We all know that the continent
as
of
Teacher
Africa
Solomon,
has
I'm
a
about
lot
to
of
go shut all
countries
this
in it.
down and break everybody up, and y'all gonna go outside.
And there's a lot of countries to choose from. So shut up. And then secondly, I ain't telling nobody what to do. Y'all have options.
You have a life.
You can choose to not access those options, or you can choose to access those options. That's your choice.
If he
okay?
cries, he cries. If he flies, he flies.
Wow.
Let me see that phone.
Wait.
No, I'm not gonna take it for. I just because I can't see the comments in real time.
Kim said, "Aw shit."
Okay, what else?
What else is there? Anybody else get mad at me?
No disrespect.
Bully talking again? Let me see.
Hold on. Let me see.
Go colonize Americans, Sin.
Okay, well that don't make no sense.
That don't make no sense what that person said. Get your dumb ass off the chat.
All right. Yo, they said name the scammers. Look, yeah, man,
Call them out.
And I'll just be honest. There's some people, folks have suggested that she knows I'm genuinely not interested in, and I'm not going to be there for the conversation. I'm just not, and Sin won't either. And anyway, we definitely appreciate everybody. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up.
See how this self-hating Bully, you acting like a coon. You calling
Stop! Wait! Come on, Sin.
He tried to call me a cracker.
Sin, come on. We had a great show. You are always uplifting the scum.
Because he called me.
You are always uplifting the worst, and you focus on it.
Because Bully called me a cracker.
You have to move on, girl. Bully don't exist.
Bully called me a cracker.
Bully got to take out the trash for his mama after the show.
All
right, come on, wrap that down.
Call me a cracker. That is so disrespectful.
Who cares about him? Who cares about that individual? Damn. Don't be uplifting these people. Did LeBron James uplift Delonte West? That's your Lord and Savior, is he not?
Bully comes to Dark Crimes all the time. Also, Mikey Moore changed his avatar. You saw him try. He changed his avatar to a
To
Lizzo.
Lizzo's butt.
He changed his avatar to Lizzo's butt cheeks.
All right, yeah.
That's what Mikey Moore did.
All right, so here's the thing. Since we had such a productive stream, because we already
Friends
look.
don't want me to be ignorant.
Yeah, you about to ratchet up.
You don't want me to be.
Yeah.
I am in the ratchet up mood.
Well, it don't matter
Friends don't want
because
me to be ignorant on the stream.
nah, not on this one, sister. Not on this
Call
one.
me sister.
Not on this one, my side.
End
Not
the
on
stream right now.
Yeah, not on this
End
one, my
the
sister.
stream right now.
Not on this one, my sister. No. No. So anyway, also, let's see here.
Oh, yeah, see, Third Eye watched Demon Lord Dante with us.
Okay.
See, Christmas missed it because she was sleeping or working Sunday night at 8 o'clock.
She was stealing some fool's lunch money.
Yeah, she was conning some dude out of money. Anyway, every Sunday at 8 o'clock we have movie night. It's not going to stay up. We delete it after we have the stream. So be there 8 o'clock every Sunday on Patreon, and we have movie night for those who want to watch movies with Dark Crime.
Also, somebody said Seahorn. Shouts out to Seahorn, man. You've been rolling with us for a long time, player. It says Prince and Sincere. You guys aren't going to bring on people to sell their black business flashcards and R&B old school like albums. LOL. No.
We're done with that.
No, we're not interested, y'all. I'm not. I swear I'm not. I love what Brother Dynast got to put on the table, and anybody that's working in their favor. Shouts out to what is it? The Leisure Brothers Live Your Leisure podcast.
Right.
Shouts out to them. I love what they doing. Like I'm really like only digesting that type of content. Like I don't really
Also, shout out to Choke No Joke for shouting out RJZ video.
Shouts out to Choke No Joke. Choke No Joke.
He had a good sense of humor. We appreciate people with good sense of humor.
Let's see here. Prince, your guest got an African Dwayne Wade looking status during the live stream. Yeah, he's a healthy brother, and I wanted him to actually and we'll chop it up some more about it, but I really wanted him to talk about, what was it that he saw as an eye opener for him, and he touched on it in the detail that he did about COVID-19, and I kind of suspected that it did reveal that a lot of dudes aren't as healthy as they project online. Talking about, I'm about to put these hands on you. Nah, they about to put that cholesterol on you. They about to put that COVID-19 on you.
I agree with Mikey too, Prince. Do you think I'll be wilding when I'm bored? Do you agree with that assessment?
Yes.
That's a shame. You co-sign with the enemy.
Well, he a Jersey.
It doesn't matter. Anybody who go against what I'm saying at the
Like
moment,
you do me.
That's
Like you
different.
do me.
I do that.
Like
from,
you do me.
a difference of
In the
opinion.
chat, how many times Sin
opinion.
Sin always goes against me on everything. I'm like, well, what's the point of you even being on this damn live stream?
I don't go against
Well,
you
wait a
every
minute,
single
Prince.
day.
Well, not really. Well, when you look at it, I don't see your point.
I don't sound like T.I. Why you making me sound like T.I.?
I just don't know, Prince.
I don't sound like T.I.
Some people's skies aren't blue.
First of all, I don't sound like T.I., so stop it. I don't
Check,
sound like
y'all know how Prince is. Anyway, again, I like Dynast, man. I think he's got great energy, and I think he's open to a lot of things too as well. Let's see here. Whoever this bully person is, let him blow on like bad gas.
Bully's been in Dark Crimes chat for a long time.
We
now.
just had a technologically advanced live stream where a Roger Rabbit me was talking to Dynast about very important black information.
Yeah, but you think I'm not supposed to call out Bully, who's been following us for a long
There
time?
you go.
And Bully called me a cracker. That's what Bully said. Bully said
You call me that,
I was an American
but you call me that all the time.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, that's not my fault. You have.
All right,
racial.
then. That's enough. Moving
You
on.
biracial. That's
See, I
not my
told you what.
business.
What I tell you? Didn't I
That's
say
none of
you
my
always
business.
going against?
But we going by what Bully called me.
And
a
we about to
cracker.
go on by.
And Bully said I don't belong in the continent of Africa, even though it makes up more than 80% of my genome.
Sin has 63% Africoid features. All right. Let's see what else. No, I don't think. Actually, Starlin Pena, I don't think that about Dynast. I think the brother just ain't for no games. Like he's traveling back and forth. He's been doing it for 10 years. He's making money in Africa. Like there's not really much you're gonna be able to tell somebody when they're making money with their people. So I just think I don't see some. Here's my thing about it. Hey, we'll have Dynast back on, like he said.
Drink some cranberry juice.
Come on, Sin, take your ad-libbing self on. Drink the cranberry juice.
Like, why are you talking? I'm about to say, why are you talking about my butt on the stream?
Anyway, so here's my thing about it. If you're gonna disagree with somebody, like let the disagreements be legit. Don't let it just be simply like some of the points I saw some of the people bring up. I was like, that's mute. You really talking? You talking about like at that point you talking about Santa Claus shit that don't matter. Dear brother, how do you feel about the debate of the conference of the reparations?
Am I going to be on No Simp Zone? Or is this only men on No Simp Zone? Or do I crash at the end like Russell Simmons like I used to do the first 2 years? Should I crash at the end of No Simp Zone and you crash at the end of Queen's Night?
I don't want to be bothered with Queen's Night. I ain't got time for that. All of
the
y'all disagreeable Madame Noors. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. Like we had that one airheaded girl that came into and some of these little black girl magicteers, some of them be off the hook.
Well, I'm gonna come at the end of No Simp Zone.
She came on there and said, "I don't like how Prince." I said, "Wait a minute, hold on, wait. I don't like what was it? How he keep dismissing Boris Kojo's fault." I said, "Ma'am, go."
Right.
I said, "Ma'am,
she
go."
Was right, though.
Hold on, let me
she
finish.
Was right. You was all in favor of your cousin Boris. I'm like, I know he's your cousin, bro, but
I'm not Sean King.
You need to be more central.
I'm not Sean King.
You act like the Cole didn't have no valid points, possibly.
Here's my thing about it. It ain't my business. That's number one. And it ain't her business. And the business she not handling with the man. And the business she wasn't handling with the man that didn't give the responsibility she was looking for. She should have dealt with that.
I'm gonna be at the end.
I don't want to be on no Queen's Night.
I'm gonna be at the
Y'all
end.
can have that.
I'm gonna be at the
See, I'm gonna tell you something else on No Simp Zone about some of you fellas too. Stop forcing yourself to be a part of these girls' conversations. That's why you getting triggered.
I'm gonna be at the end.
I see so many black men under black women videos debating them. I says, why are you there?
Because they want to smash now.
Because they gonna make you mad.
I want to be at the end of No Simp Zone so I can give my final diagnosis.
There is
what's going on with the
there is from this day forward on April 22nd there is a sincere ignorance ban on No Simp Zone.
How you gonna have a sincere
ignorance ban on No Simp Zone? So moving forward, there will be no sincere ignorance. It's a ban effective immediately. There's a sincere lockdown on No Simp Zone. Let's see here. Well, all right. I don't think they're divorced. We was just joking.
We was joking when we said divorce.
Yeah, we was joking. It'd be nice if they got a daughter. I don't want that to happen with them. That's a big thing.
They got 2 kids.
Yeah, so we just was making fun of it because, like when what's her name again? Nicole started talking, and Boris' face, the face he made, like what? I says, I know that face. That's what sin does to me. And he yelled at a clerk because he was jealous of him.
He did stop the fork from coming in his mouth.
He said, wait a minute. This is like...
He's supposed to be a casual.
Yeah, he had got his best in-house fly gear on. You could tell he had a little cologne on. He's probably thinking about smacking his wife a little later.
Right, Nicole's like, you gotta keep.
And then she's like, yeah, he don't treat me right.
Nicole said, just because
he kicks me down the stairs.
Just because you've been married for 15 years, don't mean you get to disregard me and have zero excitement.
And Boris is like, wait a minute now, I got enemies. He looking like, I don't even know if this couple an enemy. And did you see how the couple was looking at them while they was talking? It was like, it was like, look at the tea. So they look better than us, but they're not living better than us. I was like, this ignorant woman, pinhead. She was being a pinhead. And that's what some ladies don't understand. You can't be a pinhead in front of people.
You really gonna ban me from no
you like some ladies just want to express themselves, but you don't understand. Like the man's job is to maintain the upkeep of the appearances.
To ban me from no simp zone?
Yeah, there's a sin blockage.
Let's do a vote.
They don't have no vote. Hold on. They ain't no democracy. They don't have. What did Chris Tucker say? My last name is Carter. This is the United States of P. Carter.
Who wants me to be banned?
Don't nobody.
From no simp zone?
Everybody, even the women.
Vote.
Even the women don't want you there.
Vote yes if you want.
They don't want no drunkard woman around sound men discussing politics, discussing race, discussing COVID-19.
Vote yes if
they don't want no confusing woman and her messiness.
Vote yes or vote no if you want Sincere to be banned at the end of No Sip Zone. I won't be there in the beginning or middle.
Wait a minute, hold on. Sneeze, man, stop all that. You ain't talking about nothing. Is that our homie?
Yeah, that's him.
Is that?
That's him.
Yo, what's up? Malcolm McFly. Now you change it to Malcolm McFly.
Been too long, fam.
Wow. He said your consistency and progress is super motivating. Blessings to your home.
Thank you, Naughty.
Shouts out to Naughty the investor.
Also, Harper said, I bought a Thought Crime shirt. I encourage others to do likewise. Love you alls. Work it up. Be well.
All right, we appreciate that. They
yeah.
saying bye saying.
Wait.
They saying yes.
Wait, hold on. Now, hold on. Rick said ban. Zero said ban. No, I had to.
Oh, Christmas said come through. She getting banned too.
That's right.
She getting banned too.
My homegirl.
I'm gonna make sure all your kids get banned.
Wait, who else? Wait.
My block button making sure all y'all kids get banned.
Christmas said I should be there. T said ban. Smith said ban. Cam said ban. Tyrese said ban.
Dude, it's done. You ain't even gotta read it no more.
I said no.
See, you ain't even gotta read it no more. You ain't even gotta read it.
Chuckle said ban. Ban. Melanin said don't ban. See, the woman said don't ban me, and all the guys y'all traitors. I'm not gonna forget this.
Who cares what you don't forget?
I'm gonna hold on to this vendetta.
You always hold on to like everything.
Some cheddar.
Anyway, so what else we got here? All right, so we're gonna be wrapping it up. Yeah, only the men vote count. I don't even know why you was reading the women.
Well, Mikey Moore said, "Don't ban me, just limit my time." See,
who said that? Mikey Moore banned. Get him out of here. Get him. Send him to Queen's Night. Send him. Get him out of here, man. Get him out of here. Take his food. Take his shoes. Turn his pockets inside out. Get him out of here, man.
So you don't want me to
get him out of here. Throw him out. Jazzy Jeff.
I'm gonna be at the end of No Simp Zone, everybody.
You're gonna be off of No Simp Zone.
All I have to do is smooch up to Prince, and he's gonna be a simp himself. And I'm gonna be at the end of
a married man who has a loyal wife that has served him in many ways cannot be a simp. He can only be a loyal husband. Simp Zone Commandment 11.
So you gonna make the No Simp Zone commandments?
I have 30 of them. Send Mikey Moore to Lizzo, man. Get him out of here.
Oh, stop it.
To send
Mikey's
him home.
Speaking the truth right
send him
now.
back to
Send
him back to Jersey. Y'all gonna be at the end of the line at Costco's. But man, again, I'm very happy that Dynast got through the COVID-19. Because that's what shocked me. I says, what? This is Moses. He can't get COVID-19. We need him. Now there's some other people that can go.
See how loyal people in Jersey are? See people? Yeah, see how we stand up?
I know, just like Fetty Wap. Go ahead.
You can talk about Fetty Wap all you want. He had 3 good songs.
You know what's crazy? When I came to Jersey and I saw the guy standing out on the streets in Jersey, I was like, oh.
That's Fetty Wap.
That is Fetty Wap. And now I understood it.
From Patterson, New Jersey. Got something I want to say.
Man, that's a one cricket built Negro. All right. But tomorrow, are we still gonna have our stream about the West Side Connection?
Yeah, we doing West Side Connection tomorrow at 12 o'clock p.m.
What the game?
We have to buy the webcams.
Shouts out to
tomorrow.
Tajon.
We can't find no webcams everywhere. We're trying to get the webcams so far. I can't. I'm about to spill the beans on our behind the scenes work.
Also, shouts out to Tajon. Tajon, I know it was rough, sister. We still love you. I just don't like how they did our boys, Klay Thompson and KD. But it's all love. I can still walk through the bay.
Also, what's up, Nerd Soul? No Soul in the building.
Nerd Soul is in the building.
Also,
he brought Nerd Light with him.
Yeah, that's why I've been behaving. I haven't even said many bad words today.
That's what I wanted to keep it at. This was a very positive educational stream.
So, be quiet,
Here you go
Chris.
again.
Don't
That's
be
why you
an
ain't
extra.
no ban. The ban has been reinstituted.
No, I'm so serious. I love you. You did a good job.
Who's
But
good?
next time, remember, you gotta do that other thing so it could be everywhere. You should have been everywhere on all the platforms.
Dynast will be back, man. He will be back. You know, he has a great warrior spirit, and you know, I know how it is. Like only the real fellas slide through. Tajon says, "Quit hating, brother." She said, Tajon makes me laugh. She said, "Quit hating, brother."
On that note, everyone, we appreciate y'all. And Nerd grown up.
Nerd has been deported.
I think.
What are you talking about? Y'all didn't hear?
Deported out of the
No,
UK.
Nora was deported. Did y'all hear about that?
They took him
Nerd-
back to Somalia.
Nora was deported.
Nerd went back to Somalia.
We love Nora. I didn't know. Here's a little trivia with Nerd. Sin, when he kept messaging us like vigorously.
But we blocked him. We didn't know he was 16 at the time, and we blocked him. Well, now he's like 20.
And I said, I think that happened. That probably was me, because there was a period on Thought Crime I was just blocking. I don't care. I'm blocking.
I told you, like when Prince turned off our stream on The Last Dance,
Hey man, I don't play no games. I don't play no games. I don't care about that.
When you cut off the stream,
I don't care. Christmas is a Southerner. I ain't got no problem with it, but I don't care. I don't play no games. I don't take no names.
He called me a LeBron sexual. He got mad.
No, I didn't care about that. No, that was about
stream.
something else. I didn't care about you and LeBron sexual.
I know it wasn't about LeBron.
I didn't care about that. You and I know, we've spoken with LeBron several times. We cool with LeBron.
Prince is misbehaving.
But I don't take no mess.
But do you agree
I don't take no
that
mess.
he was misbehaving
No,
in that
I
stream?
got my Alonzo more. Do y'all want to see Training Day Prince? I said, I will turn these tables over if the disrespect continues.
What disrespect?
And I will address it on No Simp Zone.
See, he gonna try to talk about me on No Simp Zone. So are you gonna be
Drake?
Yeah, are you
Subversive.
gonna be subversive talking about our issues on No Simp Zone? Is
Nah.
that what you're gonna be doing?
No, I wouldn't do that. That's our issues is our issues. The only time they will see our issues if we resolve
When we
a
argue
fight
on the
and it's
stream.
resolved, and
And we put it on
I
private.
bring it down a notch.
Christmas said that shit was funny as fuck.
Yeah, cut that mic off. Cut that motherfucking mic off. Gonna keep talking, but I said, cut it off. Cut that mic off. Y'all know who my favorite character is of all time? Pinky from Friday After Next. Clifton Powell is one of the greatest actors of all time.
Can you push that down more, babe?
What?
The thing right there. I got it. Yeah, there you go.
Clifton Powell is one of the greatest actors of all time. All right?
All right, we gonna close out now, Prince.
Yeah, because I'm about to go back to sleep now.
Me too.
I'm tired.
We had a long
Bring him
day
out.
today.
Bring him out.
It's hard to
yell
yell
with
with
the
the
barrel
barrels in your mouth.
Also, we do have other characters and impersonations that we're working on. But please go to and support the brother Dynast. Get over there. Go to his website. He's been in high school teaching people. He's been on the move doing what he has to do. And he's usually live streaming every night. And there's going to come a point in time in our history where some folks are going to look back on people like, Dynast and Thought Crimes and even with the Nerd Souls, and they're going to be like, damn, I should have enjoyed them more. You know what I'm saying? But now we're
Just
dealing with
like-
all these mutants after this
It's like
nuclear
when you
strike.
have good sex and you thought you could get it from somebody else, and it doesn't happen like that. So you better appreciate it while you have it.
You know what, Tyrese? I do a fantastic Wayne impersonation, but you know who does a really good Wayne impersonation?
Who?
Sincere Ignorance.
Stop saying that.
Look, man, let me
was
tell
trying to
y'all
put me on the
something.
spot.
Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody trying to put you on the spot. Unlike what you do, I'm not a woman. I'm not a black woman. I don't put people on the spot. I'm just a black man giving you praise, queen. But anyway, thank you, Donnie. You know, Pinky is a dope character. But anyway, no, Sin, y'all don't know, like, y'all literally miss out on so many great vocal impersonations Sin just does when she's watching a movie or something. She's like the T-1000. It's weird. It's like her vocal cords morph into people. Yeah, I told her when she sings, like, I'm going to do a cartoon, I'm going to do an illustration of Tevin Campbell. And she does a great Donald Glover impersonation. I'm not going to lie. When I saw Tevin Campbell, I did think that was a little boy. I mean, I thought that was a little girl. I did. I'm not trying to be funny. When I first saw Tevin Campbell, I heard the name Tevin. I was like, oh, that's a little girl. And then he was talking to another little girl. I was like, okay, I live in Atlanta, so it must be progress.
And I
Okay.
dream of it every
Okay, Sid, we're going to wrap it up now that the stream is getting off the hook.
Just could not get it right. Oh, if we
Tajon, I haven't
ever come
sent.
close.
All
You
right.
said you want me to sing.
I didn't say I wanted you to sing.
Yes, you did. You said sing Tevin Campbell. Now you cut me off while I'm in the
The
middle
ban
of the
has
song.
been extended. All right. Also, Tajon said, no, Tajon, I haven't checked that person out, but I will. Spliff
Babyface
Spark
won.
said, yeah, Babyface, of course, Babyface won because he pulled out the guitar on top of everything. You know. Let's see. I don't trust thought crimes and saying y'all helping the scam artists.
Let me
I need
tell you-
paperwork.
Let me tell you what's the difference between a scam artist or not.
What are you talking about?
How's somebody a scam artist if they're not asking you to put money in no contract? Dynastic. He ain't talking about putting no money in no school. He ain't like, what are you talking about? He just opening your horizon, open your options.
Well, I think
That is not a scammer, guys.
now Lee Majorus, David Banner's a scammer.
There you go.
I'm not trying to be funny now.
That's a scammer.
You know, from us, doing our research on the brother, Dynast, football brother, breaking records, hurt himself, went down, moved around. He tried his hand at a couple things.
Lee, why you got that's racist avatar on?
I'm gonna tell you what I think with Lee.
You got that Kool-Aid avatar.
Lee, I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's racist.
I think you was kind of hating on Dynast.
It did look like
It sounded like you was hating
It looked
on
like
him.
a little bit hate.
It smelled like a little bit of hate.
Just,
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Aren't y'all the same brothers that supported Lil Pump?
yo, did he look? Yo, we got that thumbnail.
Man, no
I
wonder
saw
why he
Pump.
called himself Pump.
Oh yeah, we gonna close out positive with this one. I don't want to get raunchy.
Thank you. So anyway, we appreciate you all very much. See, you want to close down the stream for me? You can click over because you know how to
Oh yeah,
operate.
no, you could. All you gotta do is click end stream. But I want to close off with a song. What song should I sing, Prince, for them?
Well, also real quick, yeah, Brandon. No, I had to address that because you know how it is on the online. People start talking and all this other stuff. The brother comes on. He didn't ask anybody. He actually said people donate to thought crimes. He said put money into thought crimes. But he didn't say put money into my school or put money into my business. He was just talking about the cultural diaspora. So yeah, I had to get on that because that's not what it was.
Can I sing a song? What song do people want me to sing? I'm trying to think of a song. What song, Prince? Play me some music, please, Prince.
No, we're done.
Prince, I'm not gonna sing.
No.
Wait. Let the people decide. If the people say no, do you want Sin to sing before Prince say end?
No, we're
yes
done.
or no? You don't want the people. They dropped a lot of money. If they all say no, then I'ma shut up. Let me see so you won't cheat. because I can't see the comment section. Do y'all want me to sing or not? Or do you want us to just end this thing right now? You guys decide.
Let it go.
Don't Say Goodbye by Tevin Campbell.
Campbell.
That was a slip up.
I'm ending the stream with Dustin.
Why did he say yes?
Who's Tevin Campbell? We gotta draw that character down. Tevin Campbell. He thinks he's Tevin Campbell. Think about it. That's a great pitch, right?
Tevin Campbell.
Tevin Campbell, and he believes he's Tevin Campbell. Tevin Campbell. I like that one. I'm writing that one down. Tevin Campbell. And we're going to have Sin sing as Tevin Campbell. And he really believes he's Tevin Campbell. And he walks around in Tevin Campbell retro gear. Tevin Campbell.
I want to sing his Disney Goofy song. All right, everybody. Bye.